Раз, два, три. Раз, два, три. Так, бонжур, хату интеллигенция. Начинаю прохождение следующей части Shadowrun. Что меня поражает, это то, что Twitch автоматически не подтягивает тег инди-игры к этой игре, к этой категории. Но при этом у этой игры, в отличие от первой части, отсутствует даже локализация. Куда уж более инди, чем это. Куда уж хуже, так сказать. В общем, не знаю, как я буду это мероприятие проходить, учитывая английский язык, с которым у меня явно будут проблемы на нормальном уровне сложности. Окей. Так, New Game. Создать персонажа. Мейл, наверное. В принципе, по этим самым, по расам и классам я все в целом помню. Значит, я играл эльфом-магом. Значит, эту комбинацию мы отвергаем. В прошлый раз вроде как лучше всего себя проявили ребята с дробовиками. Хрен его знает. Ладно, попробуем Человека-декера. То есть основным персонажем я смогу всякое говно взламывать. Человек-декер. Как-то вот так. Или может орк-декер. Орков чего у нас там? Основное это боди, сила. Боди и сила. Интеллект 8. А тут как раз интеллект требуется. Короче, ломаем стереотипы. Орк-декер. Ломаем. Пусть будет такой. Погнали. Так, карма это все базовая штука. Это я помню еще по предыдущей части. Надо распределить очки. Напомните-ка мне, пожалуйста. Значит, для декера главным является интеллект. Интеллектуальный орк. Сила, понятно. Интеллект. Сразу все сюда вваливаем. Подтвердить. Так, ну и теперь нужно никнейм какой-то придумать. Соответственно, уже латиницей вписывать, не по-русски. Чтоб такого придумать-то, да ладно, напишу просто. Просто и понятно. Да, вторая большая получилась. Это такой шрифт. Окей, confirm. The Harfield Manor Run. Life was good, easy jobs, regular pay, a reliable crew. But things went south, and you had to drop off the grid, put a bullet in the past and start fresh somewhere new. Я даже понял, о чем речь. Делишки шли неплохо, но надо было застрелить прошлое и начать что-то с нуля. The promise of opportunity and anonymity, okay, draws you to the free city of Berlin, the flag state, a grand experiment in social order. Corporations tread carefully there. Even the great dragon Lofwehr only has so much way in the constantly evolving power structure of Berlin. The perfect place for a savvy Shadowrunner to disappear and begin anew. And, as luck would have it, home to your old partner in crime, Monica Schaffer. Monica Schaffer. It's your third run with Monica and her team. An old castle holdfast 1 hour east of Berlin, perched on a hill overlooking the countryside. The job is standard: smash and grab. Crack the vault, grab the data, get out in one piece. A mediocre payday, but work is work. As the team gathers for Monica's pre-run briefing, you pause to take in your surroundings. Окей. Короче, Моника нахаботила нам дело. И мы собираемся, собственно, на брифинг. Челюсть сломаю с этим инглишем. Так. The estate grounds are silent, save for the faint whistling of the wind. Your team gathers near a side entrance to the old castle holdfast, cloaked in darkness. The night is peaceful. You know it won't last. You know it for what it is, a pleasant illusion that will shatter at the sound of the first gunshot. Listen up, folks. Monica Schaffer, you ran with her back in the day. Now she's your team leader. Your decking skills may be sharp, but hers are Nova hot. Running with Monica is like taking a masterclass in sea breaking. We're on a tight timetable. I want to enter the estate, find the basement, open the data vault, extract the files, and bolt. 10 minutes, top to bottom. Trying to get home in time for worm talk, love. Dietrich Shaman, the old man of the team. He smiles at her, his facial tattoos writhing in the moonlight. Так, татушки светятся, это, конечно, хорошо. У меня вопрос. Так, слово stack speed. Full screen, post process, extra blood. Вот это еще надо включить. Во, теперь я хотя бы не долблюсь в глаза. Monica eyes twinkle with mischief. Maybe. How many times have I told you, you can't trust anything that comes out of Dragon's mouth? That tree trash will rot your brain. She grins. It's educational. Maybe. Besides, this should be a milk run. Security is supposed to be light, a few automatic weapons, no armor. With a little luck, we'll never know we were here. They'll never know we were here. Just like old times, huh? Monica's smile returns, more wistful this time. The moonlight catches her face at a strange angle. Yeah, just like old times. Milk run or not, we should be careful. Glory, razor-clawed street samurai. Her voice is cold and neutral, her expression placid. They may only be private security, but their bullets don't know that. I can patch you up if I have to, but I'd rather not have to. Seems logical. You people need to relax. We're professionals, remember? Monica raises her arm and speaks into her wrist-mounted comlink. A darkened face shimmers on the view screen. Ager, are you in position? The comlink crackles and the response comes back low and soft, softer than you'd expect from a troll. Affirmative, the alarm lines have been cut, and I have a clear line of fire on the estate service entrance. When you exit the building, the path will be clear. Excellent. Thank you, Ager. Just doing my job. Ager out. The comlink goes dark. Monica winks at you as she drops her arm. See, we're professionals. Alright people, enough chatter. Our client wants the data from the vault, so we get him the data from the vault. Quick, quiet, and quick. Double quick. You said quick twice. She grins. Worm talk is on tonight. Glory raises an eyebrow, slightly. I told you, it's educational. Yeah. Get your stuff and we'll head in. Okay, let's take some stuff. Your gear and some weapons lie in the back of the van. Grab a weapon. SMG maybe. One of the best options. The same gun as in the first game. And grab the rest of your kit. You grab your running gear from the worn duffel bag near the weaponry. Leave the van. So what do I have now? Model 70, Sony CTY 360, grenades, and some medkits. Okay, let's go. Enter the building. Let's go. Keep the team alive, get to the lower floor. Okay. A private museum. The owner of this estate must have money to burn. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Inspect. A variety of remarkably well-preserved Slavic artifacts. Slavic artifacts? That's interesting. The complete skeleton of a theropod dinosaur. It appears to be genuine. Jesus. How did they save it? The vase in the case looks both very old and very valuable. A fine scrollwork of lapis and gold leaf decorates its exterior, and the interior shimmers with the organic beauty of abalone shell. Your fixer could probably move this thing in a heartbeat. You can't help but notice that the glass encased in it looks awfully flimsy. I don't know this word. What do we do, guys? Let's take it. As you draw your arm back to smash the glass, Dietrich catches it. His gnarled hand tightens around your wrist. Not a smart move, Kleiner. We have a job to do, and holding a great big vase round isn't part of it. Dietrich offers you a toothy grin. Unless the vase figured into your plans to complete the mission somehow. Did you have a vase-oriented strategy that I was unaware of? Okay. What can I answer from Long Will Live to do? The vase is going to earn me a nice bonus. That vase is going to earn me a nice bonus. It can stay where it is for now, but I'm coming back for it. Sure you are. We'll just hold off security while you lock it out of the building. Dietrich jerks his head in the direction of Monica and Glory and claps his hand across your shoulders. Let's go, nah? We mustn't keep the others waiting. Well, it seems that I'm the main guy, since you are all following me. Right. So I'm the leader. What's that? The crack in this display case is decorated with inlaid panels of ivory. What's scrimshaw? I should probably write some words to my vocabulary after this stream. And the word list will only grow with every session. Open the door. Oh. Fuck. You are now in turn-based combat mode. Each character on your team has an action pool. Spend these actions on movement, attacks, or using spells and items. Once your team turn is complete, the enemy team will move and attack. Okay, I remember this. The interface was a bit... redesigned, I'd say 25%. How is it possible just 25%? So I have basic attack and my SMG missed. Everything is missed. 55%. Let's come closer. 57. Not so much. Not so much. 72. That's better. Still misses. Okay. 59? No. 43? 58? 70, 55. Not so much. Okay, let's try 70. Nice. Terminal. Security node. Security alert response plan. Quebec 6. Matrix operation locked. HDR team responding. Override matrix operations door lock. Unlocked. Fine. And still, turn-based combat continues, even after all enemies were defeated. That sucks. I hate these mechanics. Oh no. Here they are. Taking my words back. %? Seriously? 0? Fucking 0? Okay, let's find some cover. Missed. What about you? 32%. Okay, let's go. Missed. That's nice. Nice. Не, ну 0% это, конечно, 0%, но мне надо было это попробовать. Мне надо было. Чисто для себя. Select a decker to check in. Well, my main character. Why not? Confirm. Так, погнали. Чё, у меня никаких дополнительных обилок, что ли, нету? Звучит как подстава, вообще ничего нету. Это жопа. Не, хилимся живем. Хилимся живем. Antiquities Delivery Schedule. Окей. Расписание каких-то антикварных штучек. Вопрос только в том, куда их везут. Вопрос только в том, куда их везут. Я даже не могу стать в Overwatch. Что за бред? Бред сивой кобылы. Я надеюсь, укрытие меня спасет. Пока вроде спасает. Пока вроде спасает. Так, mark target 1. Marks the enemy. Marks enemy, causing them to become easier to hit. Jesus. This one, please. Nice, marked targets. Didn't help. 19% still very low. Неплохо. 2 крита. Чуть-чуть не хватило. Ноль процентов. В первой части я, кстати, не видел такого, чтобы было 0%. Это прям что-то новенькое. Новенькое. Подтвердить. Так, 83. Годится. Годится. Лифт. Переместиться на новую локацию? Да. The Harfeld Manor Run. So far so good. If your skirmish with security set off any alarms, you don't hear them. Monica leads the rest of the team downward into the basement of the Harfeld Manor. Your payday is waiting. The data vault lies ahead. Okay. Dietrich eyes the door, then turns to Monica. That's a big freaking vault, Liebchen. Bigger than on the schematic. The schematic didn't have a date. Our client may have old intel. Still, our instructions were clear. The data we're looking for should be just on the other side of this door. Monica combs a hand through her hair, parting it to reveal the black plastic sheath of her data jack. A quick jaunt into the matrix, a little digital hand waving, and I'll have this thing wide open. Be right back. A burst of static crackles through the tiny speaker on Monica's comlink. Ager, still in position outside the estate. Hold on, Monica. Who's in charge while you're jacked in? Monica rolls her eyes. Dietrich fixes his stare intently on the vault door. Glory looks cold and distant, just as she always does. We've been through this before, Ager. You're not in the KSK anymore, and that chain of command nonsense doesn't fly in the shadows. We don't need rules and regulations to guide us. The same principles that apply to the flux state. Please, spare me the lecture. Your politics have nothing to do with this. Best get used to it, Ager love. She sighs. Look, it's a simple question. Years of experience tell me that it needs an answer. Okay. Second command just in case. I agree, we don't have time. Why don't I take a crack at the door instead? Не хочу крекать. We don't have time for this, Ager. We have a job to do. No one asked you, rookie. Come on, Monica. Put someone in charge and let's get on with the mission. Monica stares at her screen on her wrist for a moment, clearly irritated. Then that twinkle appears in her eye again. She smiles at you as she speaks into her comlink. Very well, we'll do this one Ager's way. While I'm jacked in, Cliston is in charge. There is a pause, then Ager's voice crackles out of the comlink again. Cliston? Did I hear you right? You're putting the rookie in command? Listen, Ager, you asked for a decision and you got one. This is ridiculous. I know that this is a joke to you, Monica, but I'm telling you. Ager, Monica's tone is all business. Evidently, she has heard enough. The decision's made. You have your answer. Acknowledged. Without another word, Ager's image flickers and fades from Monica's communicator. Sorry about that, Ager. Ager can be inflexible, the legacy of a long military career. But she knows that she is doing, and she means well. As long as she follows orders, she can think what she wants. Very good, but I wouldn't deliberately antagonize her. Ager's skills and experience are invaluable to this team. She's also a killing machine. Monica nods. There's also that. Okay, enough chatter. Let's get this done. Monica turns toward the door, fingers poised on the controls of her cyber deck, then glances back at you with a grin. See you on the other side. Then she punches in, projecting her consciousness into cyberspace, her fingers harmonizing in her smooth, rhythmic staccato that only an expert decker can achieve. And no one understands what's going on. Так, ну я понял, что... Without warning, Monica's back arcs violently and her head jerks back, silencing her terrible screams. Muscle spasm ripple through her face, and her jaw snaps shut, sending a mist of blood spraying from between her teeth. You look down to see a nub of pink flesh hit on the floor, the tip of her tongue. The room explodes into action. Glory leaps toward Monica, her hand outstretched to yank the cord from the data check. Dietrich surges forward to wrap the team's fallen decker in a bear hug, holding her against the convulsions that wreck her body. With Monica's unearthly screams still ringing sharply in your head, you're only dimly aware of the door slamming shut behind you. Let's help Dietrich. As Dietrich holds Monica's thrashing body, you grab her head in both hands and hold it steady. Glory wraps a cybernetically enhanced hand around the cold leading to Monica's data jack and pries it free. The commingled sense of shared meat and ozone fill the air. You've seen the effects of biofeedback before, but nothing like this. Suddenly, Monica's eyes flutter open. Muscle tremors continue to distort her face, and blood oozes between her lips. You see the muscles in her jaw tensing and the look of the concentration in her eyes. She's struggling to speak. Just stay with us, Monica, okay? We're going to get you out of there. Save your breath. Glory's voice is strained. She's had a stroke, a bad one. She'll be dead before we've even back to the van. Damn it. What the hell happened to her in there? Slowly, painfully, Monica wrestles her jaw open. The blood walled up in her mouth comes pouring out in a slick covering her chest. She expelled a thick, guttural sound that might be a word. Satisfied, and she closes her eyes and forces her mouth to make the shapes she needs. Free fear, okay. With an effort, Monica opens her eyes again and meets yours. You see the pain and fear in her gaze, and something else. Hope? Ну, это, по-моему, даже нечитабельно в принципе. A sudden spasm jerks Monica's head back again. She grunts. Then her chin drops to her chest and her head tolls to one side. Her eyes fix on an open object in the next room, a computer terminal. The soft light of a cursor blinks on its recessed screen. Slowly she attempts to speak again, but the only sound that emerges is a lone, strangled croak. A look of resignation washes over Monica's face, and she stops fighting. Her gore-slick jaw goes slack, and she dies. Короче, разворотила ей челюсть, и она откинулась. Переводя на простой язык. И это прискорбно, потому что у нее был нормальный автомат, или что у нее там было. В общем, короче, что-то, с чего можно было хотя бы попадать. Потому что эти джентльмены вряд ли будут попадать. 14%. Главный герой. С пистолета. Вообще не видно. 39%. Беда. Беда. 26, 39. АОЕ, а ну. Найс. Выглядит неплохо. Так, 9%. 9%. Это, мать вашу, что такое? Так, эйм. Хрен ты эйм наложишь, да? Хрен ты эйм наложишь. 41, 51. Поехали. Попал, и то хорошо. Так, хорошо, давай сюда пойдем. Активируйте терминал. Давайте активируем, что нет там. MC Pulse Building Maintenance Software version 101. Command line interface. Internal memory checksum invalid. Dietrich scans the room nervously. They've sealed the door behind us. We've got to find another way out of here. What are you doing? I think Monica may have inserted a bug into the system before she died. What's it for? Something tells me we're going to have more company soon. I don't know yet. Watch my back while I figure this out. Text continues to scroll down the terminal screen. A problem has been detected with a core component of MC Pulse. Restore MC Pulse to factory default settings? Yes, no. Warning. Restore process will take several minutes to execute. Connected doors and peripherals will be disarmed when complete. Hit the Y key. Processing requests 0%. As you watch, the number on the screen slowly begins to climb. This is going to take a while. You glance down at the second screen to see that the facility is on a high alert. In place of simple data vault, it seems you've stumbled upon some kind of massive underground complex. A map of the hot, fast grounds indicates that security forces are en route from multiple angles. The doors currently being rebooted by the system's restore process are flashing a dull red. If you're reading this display correctly, the only exit from this room is the Holdfast's old servant's entrance on the western side of the building. Western, там, наверное. At that moment, Ager's image winks into your comlink with a cracking sound. The image is grainy, flickering in and out. What's going on down there, rookie? Talk to me. Ager, need new extraction points. Hold up, where's Monica? Down. We'll be exiting via an old servant's entrance to the west of the main grounds. I need you to keep that exit clear. Ager's silence is thick, but when she finally responds, her tone is professional. Roger that. Glory turns to face you, her movement smooth and robotic. Her voice comes out in a frosty monotone. What's the play, Cliston? Our escape route will open in a minute. We hold tight until then. By hold tight, you mean sit here and fry anyone who comes through the door, don't you? Pretty much, yeah. Dietrich Payne's expression twists into a mask of hate. His hands begin to glow with primal energy. I can do that. Good. Now let's find some cover and wait for the door locks to disarm. Так, 10 ходов надо спастись и свалить потом в эту дверь. Но вопрос-то вот в чем. Мне как бы обороняться на самом-то деле нечем. Блин, бомжи одни. Процент попадания у всех около нулевой. Главному герою еще и перезарядиться надо. Так, ну идем сюда. Ладно, иди сюда. Овервотча ни у кого нету. Билок ни у кого нету. Просто ждем, получается. Так, где деятели появились? Здесь? Пока не видно. Вот они. Вот они, еще и с дронами. Сюда хилку и с ножа куда-то сюда. Блин, я не ожидал, что он так далеко подбежит. Ау. Ау, ау, ау. Так, это не тот. Мне этот нужен. Как, блин, отменить выбранный предмет? Так, Дитрих, ты прячься. И лечи его. И параллельно еще и стреляй. The figure loping toward you is big even for an orc. The majority of his body is sheathed in a suit of heavy, overlapping plates. What you can see of his face looks raw and sleek, like old scarred tissue stretched tight over his skull. He wears an expression of supreme confidence. All right, friends, playtime's over. All you Shadowrunners are the same. Skulking, sneaking, steal a vase or two from the museum, no harm. Maybe I'd let you scamper away into the night. But now it's too late for that sort of generosity. Visitors aren't welcome down here. The gaping maw of the minigun jerks upwards. An impatient gesture loaded with malice. Drop your weapons and surrender. That's military-grade armor he's wearing, Cliston, hardened against small arms fire. We'll have a tough time getting through it. I'm less concerned about the armor that I am about that minigun. Those things can tear a man in half. You have 3 seconds before I open the hose. Step out here and surrender, and I promise I'll make this easy. Something tells me you're gonna kill us either way. True, I can't deny it, but wouldn't it be easier if you didn't fight back? The orc strikes and you hear the distinctive whir of his Vindicator's motor spinning up to speed. The barrels begin to blur as he wheels the weapon to face you. Так, раскручивает пулеметик и хочет меня порвать напополамушки. Мне это не нравится, но выбора-то особо нет. Надо как-то и от него прятаться, судя по всему. Но проблема в том, что тут другие капец какие плотные ребята. Я, честно говоря, не понимаю, как мне это вывозить. Так, идол. Идол. Давайте поставим идола. Порежем входящий урон. Но только это не поможет победить. Вот в чем прикол. Типа по одному урону наношу. Это успех. Просто успех успешнейший. Давай в этого гранаткой. И как мне это вывозить? Я по одному хп сношу. Как мне это вывозить? Объясните мне. Вообще не догоняю. По-моему, это нереальная штука. Окей, давай похилимся на 12. Ну, кстати, на 12 неплохо. Так, 76. Да, ну давай этим. Хоть какой-то урон. А у меня просто отъехал главный герой. Кто меня похилил? По одному урону. По одному. Что за трэш? Ну я хз, как это вывозить. Так, допустим. The door unlocks with a loud click. Your escape route is clear. Так успеть бы туда добежать, вот в чем вопрос. Так это еще не все, это еще бежать и бежать. Так, ну похоже, я присел на бутылочку, и мне как бы нечего противопоставить. Могу только сам похилиться. Mission failed. Keep the team alive. Как я ее, блин, сохраню живой? Их там 500 миллиардов человек, а у меня всего 3. И еще и не попадающие ни в кого вообще. Как? Объясните мне, как я должен это сделать? Если на нормале, ну вот что это такое? 0. Шанс попадания 0. Хоть иди кулаком. 60% с кулака. Пошли с кулака херачить. На. 4. Зашибись. Просто зашибись. 55%. 70. Давай 70. Короче, я понял. Мой орк превращается в скором времени в милишника. Будет декер-милишник. Крит! Крит! С одного удара кулаком нанес больше урона, чем за всю предыдущую катку с автомата. Это, блин, куда годится? Это вообще как? Незаконно. Было больно. Хорош, еще крит. Вообще супер. Так, ты подлечиться, во-первых. А во-вторых, с ножа туда. Активируйте терминал. Это я все видел. Декинг 1. Так. Нажать перезагрузку. Новый extraction point. Down. Все вопросы те же самые. Так. 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 На всякий случай сохранить. Новый слот. Новый слот. Надо искать какие-то здесь позиции. Я не знаю, есть ли они вообще там. В теории есть. В теории есть. Никого не вылечишь. Окей, ждем. Обзор загораживается, да? Самое забавное, что я стрелял в дрона. Как мне казалось. Это, кстати, было похоже на 36%. Один выстрел из 3. Ответы те же. Так, на всякий случай, save game, еще один слот. Поехали. Флэшбэнг. Хрен куда докинешь. Точнее, докинешь, но только туда, куда не надо. Вот этих поджечь можно. Nice. Very nice. Не хватает, да? На всякий случай перезаряжусь тогда. Вау. $18 хп, но я до него не достану, да? Сиди на жопе ровно, сиди на жопе ровно. Эйм сюда. В смысле ты не попал? Ну 63%. Как ты не попал? Как у тебя рука повернулась такое не попасть? Пофигу вам, да? Вам просто пофигу. Десяточку восстанавливает. А у тебя что по хп? Можно, да? Даже лучше сюда. Так, а ну допустим, save game. Еще один слот. Не туда. Да вы прикалываетесь. Нет, все бесполезно. Load game. Поехали. В принципе, с таким же успехом можно просто собраться где-то здесь. Ты тоже собираешься здесь. Лечишь его. Ты сюда со своей аурой. Обновляем эту штуку. Ну что, вроде хилимся, живем. Вроде хилимся, живем. Найс. Aegir. Aegir rises from her corpse-strewn perch at your approach. From the look on her face, it's obvious that she's already sized up the situation. I knew this was going to happen. I fucking knew it. The run was a trap. Ah, it was it? Aegir grits her teeth and shakes her head. We can talk about this later. For now, we've gotta get the hell out of here. It's only a matter of time before more of them come pouring out of that exit. Aegir slaps the side of the van. Pile up, people, and Cliston. When we get back to the Kreuzbazaar, Kreuzbazaar? I don't know how to spell it. We're gonna have a little talk. Okay. I agree. The Kreuzbazaar. Базар, наверное, все-таки. Как базар. Kreuzberg, home of nearly half a million people and until very recently Monica Schäfer. Once a melting pot of cultural diversity, it's now a chaotic mess of wealth and poverty, crime and commerce, anarchy and control. It's also home to your own little slice of Berlin, a neighborhood that locals call the Kreuzbazaar, a safe port in the eye of a storm. The ride back to the Kreuzbazaar is quiet. No one is in talking mood. As the van veers past potholes and garbage piles, the glare of streetlights and neon signs plays across your window, painting the world in a kaleidoscope of garish colors. Soon the van rounds a corner and skids to a halt in a narrow, crumbling alley. This is as far as Berlin's chaotic streets will take you. Your team wordlessly debarks the vehicle and climbs down into a disused section of the U-Bahn tunnel system, a well-kept secret providing your team safe passage into the Kreuzbazaar. Your safe house waits on the other side. Окей, значит, мы спокойно добрались, но никто не хочет разговаривать. The sooner we get in, the sooner I can get drunk. Interesting idea. Interesting idea. Okay, let's go. Paul. You step inside and the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim, fluorescent lightning. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, lights glinting off of steel-rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord. Part dealmaker, part information broker. One of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Aegir's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she? His face has gone ashen. He swallows, takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? How did it happen? The run was a setup. One meeting she was cracking the safe, the next she was on the ground screaming. I've seen Monica hate Black IC before. This was something worse. Glory nods, her motions robotic and spare. Monica died in a biofeedback-included stroke. That's right, Ager thrust a gloved finger into your chest, and this idiot stood by and let it happen. Poke me again, I dare you. Ager recoils in surprise, then breaks into a feral grin. You're threatening me? Seriously? Her hands bunch into fists. Take a swing, please. I'd love to excuse to cave your face in. This is asinine. Kristen did well in there, Ager. You didn't see it, and I know you don't believe it, but he did. So do us all a favor and shut it down, okay? Shut it down? Fuck that. Ager turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich. You know that, but you don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good, she was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do that long enough and you're gonna be burned. Ager turns her focus back to you. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all of this out on your own by now. You'd have known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Ager. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expressions blank. Enough. Ager pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there is a fire in her eyes. How many seconds passed between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4? 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to a attacker's brain in 5 seconds? Look, this won't... You don't have to answer that. Of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched. This is all your That is enough. Amsel's voice comes out in a roar, and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Ager, you and Kristen can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he'd led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. This was supposed to be a milk run. Raybeck isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we are all still in danger. He pauses, rubs his temples. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important to hold nothing back. The estate was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. Amsel nods. That much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. That facility took serious funds to build. And time. There was more to it than we saw. Places like that don't spring up overnight. And all in secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features that I could look into? He was an older guy, for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. pretty old for an orc. And he'd had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, that may be medical records. That is something. I will see what I can find out. Do you note anything else during the run that may be of value? Monica lived long enough to say a name. Feuerschwinge. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewind. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings me many unpleasant memories. The Firewind? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they never experienced the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Feuerschwinge is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile, whatever. Feuerschwinge was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There is a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation and no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually, the Firewind was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrien Vauclair. Vauclair, maybe it's French one. Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course. But it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down in the radioactive wastelands of the Sox. This event was called the Dragonfall. Safe at last for the Dragon's Wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. If the Dragonfall was as important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised that I've never heard of it. Those early years of the awakening were traumatic, Ager. Not just on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, it is any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Firewind were forgotten. Dragons were yesterday's news. Yesterday's news. Again, all of this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Feuerschwinge is a bit of historical trivia and nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a lone dead dragon. Ager sweeps her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas as to why? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is an ancient history. Forschwinge has been dead and gone for 42 years, but there's one thing that I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to claim himself, takes a deep breath, then slowly releases it. I will look into this and I'll find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? That's all we've got. That's not much. Amsel nods. His face is down and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and a long-forgotten world event. Whoever sent us knew what we are walking into. We were set up. That's obvious, but why? Paul's face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take this run, but she assured me it would be a care walk. You didn't bring it to her? No, she set up the whole thing herself. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause, anything for the Flux state, he sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of Flux. And that was all it took. It sounds like Green Winters is our best lead then. Yeah, most definitely. It is clear that Green Winters was involved and involved us in something much larger than he led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's probably gonna rabbit. We need to chase him down before that happens. Okay. So we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There is a man... Whoa. There is a man here in Krois Bazaar, a Turk named Altuk Burakgazi. He owns a little soy calf shop just down the way called Kefe Kezve. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. And you think he would know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I did not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altug and see what he knows about Green Winters. Very well. Tell him I sent you. I will do that. I can to dig into the information that you've uncovered already. Sparse through it may be. Да, ну конечно, количество зашкаливающих слов, которые надо гуглить, оно меня просто поражает воображение. Просто поражает. Окей, давай поговорим с тобой еще отдельно. Amsel Pierce. Так, did you get the information about Green Winters? No, not yet. Then please continue working. We need to find that man. I believe you're right, but... Okay, Dietrich. Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is wreathed with a network of faint scars, the legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obviously for the shaman you see today in a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there is still an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Kristen, welcome. I've got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing, and we've got a fallen comrade to drink too. To Monica, Prost. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it, you catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. It tastes of sweet corn and walnuts with a lingering aftertaste of butterfly toffee. You swallow a swig, then return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull on the bottle, then locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Cliston. What made you choose to come to Berlin? Nothing in particular. Oh, come on, boss. You're gonna have to do better than that. Monica told me that you'd made a name for yourself in Megaplex. Had your own team and everything. Leads a man to wonder why you packed up and moved here. I just had to drop out of sight for a while. Sure enough, I think that most of the team is here to hide from something. Not me, of course. Given the choice between hiding from something and punching it smack in the nose, you know which direction I tend to lean. But most of the others, yeah, even Ager's hiding out for something. Really? How do you know? Intuition. Got a nose for damaged people. Of course, I've spent most of my life running with and playing for folks who were damaged in one way or another, so that might have something to do with it. So things got heavy back in the Ruplex, and you decided to bail and head to Berlin. Am I getting that right? More or less. There wasn't much left for me in the Ruplex, and Monica made me hell of an offer. Ah, yeah, Monica. Dietrich raises his bottle again, then closes his eyes and takes a long drink. After the moment has passed, he returns his attention to you. It all comes back to our girl, doesn't it? So let me ask you, just what was your relationship with Monica anyway? I know that you two knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. Why do you want to know? Monica was my friend. I cared about her. Dietrich shrugs. I don't know, I guess that I just want to get to know her better. There were some areas of her life that have always been a mystery, and if you could shed any light on them, I'd be appreciative. I can respect that. So what was the deal between the two of you? Don't leave me in suspense. We were friends. Right there with you, and privileged to say so. She was one of the best women I have ever known. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time, and the bottle's almost empty. Thanks for taking the time to talk. For that it's worth, I'm happy you are here with us. Dietrich takes a final pull of the bottle, then tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. Rest in peace, Monica. We'll miss you, girl. As you start toward the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breeds. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low, okay. Oh shit, Dante. Don't worry, boy, we'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago, turned into a full-blown hole. Wouldn't stop. Kept. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Scratch Dante behind the ears. Dante leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against your leg. Это типа получается сел, придавился на меня, да? Пёсель. I guess the dog is going with you, Cliston. Amsel takes a ragged breath and releases it. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you're finished with Altug, my friend. My Freund. With a little luck, he can help us locate Green Winters and we can get to the bottom of this. Or we can't. He stares at the floor. And now, I think we should all take a moment. For Monica. Agree. What about you guys? And what do we have here? Nothing interesting here. Что у нас здесь? Инсташ, эрозия какая-то. Какая-то эрозия, но это, я так понимаю, для декинга. Что мне сейчас не очень-то надо. Давай с Эйгер поговорим. Aegir glares at you and you can taste the bile in her stare. She clearly still blames you for Monica's death. Something I can do for you, fearless leader? Yeah, you can apologize for that. Хотя давить на нее прям так жестко после смерти нашего общего друга плохая, наверное, идея. Давайте, we need to talk about Monica. Not right now, we don't. Don't push me on this, Cliston. One of these days we are gonna hash this out. And you can talk all you like about the clusterfuck that killed one of my best friends, but it won't be today. Fair enough, but before I go, I'd have something else to say. You're wrong about me, Aegir. I intend to prove that to you. Best of luck with that, Clisson. Now please, leave me alone. Okay, fuck you, goodbye. It is for now, fearless leader. Do us boss a favor. Take the hint and go away. Okay, understood. And Glory. Glory is beautiful in a waithish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish in their delicacy, but there's something cold about her and you find slightly unsettling. What's more unsettling is her chrome. Glory is rocking a heavy loadout of cyberware, from head to toe. She looks to be composed more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as these are anything but uncommon, but Glory's cyberware is first generation, all of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces, this chrome was obsolete before she was born. Cliston, Glory shifts her gaze to you. but her expression is as cool as placid as always. Can I help you? Hey, Glory, how you're holding up? Don't worry about me, I'm solid. You sure? You look like you're a million miles away. I'll be with you when it counts. Right now it doesn't. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Suit yourself. Okay. As you wish, guys, as you wish. Anything here? Nothing here. To the streets. To the streets. To the streets. Okay. So where should I go? Somewhere downstairs. Okay, let's go. The dwarvish tech vendor smiles at you with practiced ease, her almond eyes twinkling with the glare from a dozen treat screens. She speaks in a clipped, heavily accented German. Welcome to Data Heaven. Can I help you with something? I need some tech. Show me what you've got. Okay, what do you have? I think I'll need something. For example, I'll need blaster. I'll need programs 3, programs 4. Sell, confirm. Confirm, let's go. Микко Кикко, привет. Так, куда мы идем? Куда мы идем? Куда мы идем? Сюда мы идем. Кафе Кезве. Кезве кафе. Кезве кафе. Какой-то Ян. Hello, my friends. The voice that comes from the man in the chair is as enormous as its owner, a deep booming roar dripping with unrestrained mirth. A fine day for a soy calf, yes? Yes, it certainly is a beaut. From the back of the store, the voice of the shopkeep cuts you off. Don't mind the fool in the chair. He roars like a traumatized walrus, stewing all day in his own sweat. The man behind the bar glares at Goldschmidt, his upper lip curled in disgust. I tolerate him only because he takes his soy calf by the bucket. Goldschmidt responds with a raucous belly laugh. Apparently he finds the shopkeeper's insults to be hilarious. Ah, Altug, mein Freund. You are as quick-witted and sharp-tongued as ever. I bow to you. Are you going to poo? Once again, the shopkeeper cuts in. To bow to me, you would first have to vacate your chair. The shopkeeper claps his hands together, clasping them in front of his chest. I shall summon a team of determined young men and an ox to assist with the task. With luck, you will be on your feet by nightfall. Goldschmidt smiles up at you, his small eyes glittering. Enough of this senseless bickering. You have approached me for a reason, yes? Tell me, what can Jan Goldschmidt do for you? А чё ты, собственно, умеешь-то? Something bad is going to happen if he doesn't stop interrupting me. Oh, don't mind our deal, Ortug. Yes, he is a peevish man, but his ire was not directed at you. Goldschmidt grins up at you from his overstuffed chair. I have the distinction of being the sole target of Altug's rage and derision. It is a badge that I delight in wearing. Why did you put up with those insults? Don't you have any pride? I put up with them because they amuse me. The fact that they amuse me infuriates my dear friend Altug, who in turn hurls more insults. Goldschmidt raises his Soykov cup in salute, and thus the cycle continues. It is 2 years now that I've been your customer, yes, Altug? 2 years of Soykov and strained patience, yes. And I remain happy, and Altug makes money, an ideal business relationship. That all sounds perfectly healthy. Take care, Jan. Until next time, my friends. Until next time. Okay, let's talk. Надо поговорить с Алтугом. Так, специальный today карамель сай кофе. Карамель сай кофе. Напитки богов 2050-х годов. The man behind the counter look right past you and at the dog following close behind. Dante, I'll fetch his water dish and perhaps a coffee for you, for our friend here. Ну, за 5 можно. Soy calf black. Very well. A soy calf. The man behind the counter has the broad smile and open demeanor of a classic Turkish street vendor. Welcome, honored Efendim, welcome. And how can Buragazi serve you today? You would like a cup of coffee, perhaps? Paul Amsel sends his regards. When he hears Amsel's name, the Turk voice lowers and his accent becomes less exaggerated. His eyes take on a knowing nod. Ah, very good. Please express to Herr Amsel my appreciation of his patronage. If he needs any more catering jobs seen to in the future, I'm always happy to provide. He tells me you're developing the menu for a friend of his now, Herr Winters, I believe. I want to hear all about it. Yes, of course. Oh, wise one, Kami, come. A young woman bustles in from the back room. Her gum chewing is loud enough to hear over the noise of the coffee grinders. Burak Gazi spits something out the rapid-fire Turkish. As you wish, uncle, I will see to it right away. Kami offers you a shy grin, snaps her gum, and hurries back into the room that she came from. My girl Kami is arranging to make contact with the chef as we speak. This will likely take some time. My chef is a busy man. While we wait, I wonder if you would be so kind as to run a small errand for me. A trifle. A trifle. Trifle или trifle? Okay, let's be trifle, really. I hate to trouble you. I'm embarrassed to even ask, but I would be most appreciative of your help. What is it, trifle? The errand is simple, hardly worthy of you. I have installed a number of data taps to Berlin's fiber optic network, as part of my civic duty, you understand. These taps provide free matrix access for all who live in the Kreuzbazar. Kreuzbazar. In order to maintain their, their anonymity, each tap's protocol buffer must be reset every few days. I simply wish you to visit each data tap and reset it. That's it? No catch? There is no catch, I assure you. It is time-consuming and a bit tedious, nothing more. Just reset the tabs and come back when you are finished. These should be 3 of them scattered around the neighborhood. The first one is just outside. Look for the metal box with yellow arrows painted atop it. By the time of your return, I should have the information Herr Amsel requested. Так, помочь типу с какими-то мусорными заданиями, и он раздобудет мне инфу. Ну, попробуем. Так, желтый ящик со стрелочками. Ага, все, понял. Точнее, ящик с желтыми стрелочками. Погнали. This data tab's protocol buffer is now reset. Мне таки предлагают реально походить по округе и поискать эти штуки, да? В глаза бросается только одна. Опа, Dancer's Back. Не, ладно, чужое брать пока не будем. Берлин, конечно, Берлином. Куча дополнительных локаций, открывающихся, это круто, но надо же найти. Так, алло, нажимайся. Так, чудесно. И... Где-то надо найти третью коробку с приколами. Во, нашел. As you are resetting the data tab, you notice that someone has duct taped a small homemade receiver to the system. An earplug dangles from the receiver. Put the earplug into your ear. The sound of heavy machinery makes it difficult to hear the words that are being spoken. After a moment, you find you can make out 2 distinct voices. A nasal woman who sounds like a heavy smoker, and a man who speaks in a high-pitched, breathy tone. Just heard Monica, need to verify. Good of us. Continue listening. A sound like a conveyor belt starting adds to the noise of machinery, and you can't make out anything else until it comes to stop a minute later. Think of our next step. Wait, isn't ready to make a move yet. See who steps up. Could be someone more. Continue listening. More conveyor belts start up. All you can hear is the sound of machinery. Some sort of motorized vehicle starts up, drowning out everything else. A bell rings loudly again and again. It sounds like a telephone. You hear the sound of a door slamming shut, and the noise of machinery is suddenly muffled. There's a rattle of plastic, and the ringing stops. The nasal woman's voice can be heard again in a sing-song tone. Guten Tag, how may I help you? Silence. I heard. Yes, he knows. I told him it wasn't time to make a move yet. What do you think I am, an idiot? The council needs to meet again. I know, getting everyone in the same room is challenging. Getting them to agree on the course of action is going to be even more challenging. From my perspective, the Kreuzbazaar was only stable because of her. If she really is out of the way, well, we'll see, won't we? Yeah, I know. What can I say? Things go slow in the flux sometimes. You hear the sound of a door opening again, and the cacophony of machinery fills the line. You can't make out anything more. Окей. Кто-то там добазаривается за будущее этого всего базара после отхода Моники. Кстати, локация просто огроменная. Она, по-моему, больше, чем любая другая локация из предыдущего Shadowrun. Это при том, что здесь еще куча, конечно, зданий, в которые можно войти, но сама по себе локация с развилочками, она здоровенная. Так, что у нас тут на статуе? Что на статуе? A bizarre monument towers before you. At the top of the pedestal, the form of an angel stands, its outstretched wings looming over the small park. But the material is strange and uneven, giving the statue the cold Frankenstein-esque appearance. It appears that the artist has welded this monument together from various metal scraps and pieces of junk. As you approach, a small grimy monitor at the base of the statue flickers dimly to life. The grainy face of a smug young orc appears on screen. Hello there, I'm Halbert Kunzel, the creator of these monuments. What would you like to know? Tell me the statue name. This is my tribute to victory, the victory of anarchy. It is both a citation and parody of the statue we destroyed some 20 years ago. You may remember it from the history it reads as the Zig Salute or Goldels. Господи, что за имена-то? Installation history. The Zig Salute, a monument to the hubris of the Prussian state, gets blown to bits. So someone takes a lot of bits and builds a monument to the hubris of anarchy. Okay, step away. Step away. Снимем трубочку. Посмотрим, что там. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. Pick up the receiver. A monotone, pitch-adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. The Shockwell and writer's contact for the keys is no more. Clifton is listed as follow-up contacts. This is our only secured line to the keys. Please listen to the following instructions carefully if you are a supporter of our cause. Guys, I don't even know you. Who are the Shockwell and writer? The Shockwell and writer is fighting for the freedom and liberty of information in Berlin. The F-state manages many things, but information remains controlled. Corporations keep any information they can under lock and key, silencing dissent, silencing indiscretion, silencing the truth. Our goal is to liberate this information so that any who wish to may access it, and so that the F-state can regulate itself based on truth. We are simply a collective of like-minded individuals working toward this cause. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each one you may find a request posted for specific information. If you can obtain a copy of this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We will verify the authenticity of the information remotely and post an undoctored copy of it into the matrix ourselves. It is our stated goal for the information to remain free to all. However, you will be compensated for sought after information returned to this location. I'll keep an eye on it. The lion remained silent. Короче, меня хотят навесить кучу побочных заданий по поиску информации. но при этом за дополнительную плату. Это интересно. Это интересно, но на самом деле нет. Я шучу, это не интересно. Мне интересен только основной квест. Возможно, какие-то побочки, если там будет что-то интересное написано. Но, типа, это уже звучит как типичный Ubisoft. Ходи, собирай какую-то шляпу и сдавай ее на башню, грубо говоря. Так, погнали поговорим снова с турком. Altuk smiles at you from behind the counter. Welcome back, honored Effendim. How may I serve you? I've finished with your little trifle, Herr Buragazi. Ah, very good. I assume you had no difficulties. Not at all. It was good to take in the night air. I am delighted, O excellent one. With that out of the way, let us return to our present business. He barks a stream of rapid-fire Turkish, and the gum-chewing young woman comes hurrying out to the counter. The menu for Herr Amsel, uncle. Please extend my consolations to him. The death of Fräulein Schäfer must have hit him hard. Buragazi gives Kame a small nod, and she hurries out of the room. When she is gone, he returns his attention to you. Please express my condolences as well. I only just heard the news. Monica was an important part of this community. He frowns. Few know how important. The memory stick Kame just handed you should contain all the information Herr Amsel requires for our chef in the field. Should you require my services in the future, you know where to find me. Until then, good day. Так, значит, мы несем справочку обратно. Поговорим снова с Полом. Amsel peers at you apprehensively. His eyes are bloodshot, his expression grim. Did you get the information about Green Winters? Yes, I spoke to Altug. He gave me this memory stick. Let us see what his agent has to say. Amsel snatches the memory stick from your hand and slots it into his computer terminal. He navigates a series of command line menus, and a wall of amber text floods the screen. Amsel scans it, mouthing the words as his eyes filth back and forth. Buragazi agent tailed Green Winters to a hotel in the cesspool of a keys called Dragonfall. The hotel is called Das Kastelhaus. It is a renovated factory nestled deep in the heart of Dragonfall. It appears that Winters is holed up there. Recently, there was some contention between two gangs over control of the neighborhood. Due to the gang violence, the agent refused to follow Winters inside of the hotel, but he confirms that he is still inside. Well, what we are waiting for? Ager slings his rifle over her shoulder with a single spare motion. Gear up, people, we have a hotel to raid. Gloria and Dietrich pause, exchange look with Paul. Just a moment, Ager. Amsel rises from his chair, drawing himself to full height. Even so, he has to crane his neck to look her in the eye. You are an excellent soldier, and nobody questions your competence in the field. Your loyalty to this team is equally commendable. That said, we believe that Cliston is the right choice to lead the team. There is a long pause between Aegir speaks. When she does, her voice comes out dull and flat. What? Don't mistake this decision for a reprimand. Monica considers your contributions to the team to be invaluable, but we all know that she wasn't comfortable putting a soldier in charge. This is unbelievable. You want to put the rookie in charge, again. Don't you people learn from your mistakes? Cliston is the reason we're still alive, Aegir. He kept us together. He led us out of there in one piece. By an accident, by the way. Making him your golden boy? This is more of your flux state idiocy. Idiocy at work, isn't it? It's what Monica believed in. Yeah, and look where that got her. Let me give you a piece of advice. In the field, only two things matter: the mission and survival. Everything else is a distraction. Your ridiculous politics have no place on a Shadowrun. Что-то у меня уже горло начинает заканчиваться. Пора, наверное, закругляться. What can I say? We're German. We have a history of strong politician views. Screw it, let's put an end to this. I've got the skill and experience to lead this team. Kristen, on the other hand, was appointed by Monica as a joke. If you'd rather he take the lead, I'll abide by that, but I want to hear each of you say it. I've no quarrel with you, Aegir. I'll do as the group wishes. You stay out of this. Okay. The moment she raises her hand to you, Dante's ears lay back and he lets out a low growl. Reflexively, she takes a half step back. I think we've heard what Dante has to say. As for my part, Cliston saved our lives back there. You may not believe, but he did. The way I see it, that means I follow his lead a while longer. I trust in Monica's judgment, therefore I trust in Cliston's judgment. The discussion is finished, Aegir. Cliston will take Monica's place as the leader of his team, of this team. Monica's death deserves vengeance. I intend to see it done. He nods. There's dangerous glimmer in his eye. Understatement of the year, Cliston. Someone's gotta pay and pay hard. Glory nods in agreement. Aegir looks from Dietrich to Glory to Amsel, finally down at Dante. Then she sighs. Alright, fine. It looks like the rookie's in charge, again. It's time to move on. We need to focus on chasing down Green Winters. Indeed, I have transferred the information that we received from Altuk to the computer terminal in the next room. It used to be Monica's personal workstation, Cliston. Now it is yours. Monica kept a variety of notes and dossiers on that machine. I would suggest reviewing her notes when you have the time. Good hunting. I will eagerly await your return. I wouldn't suggest driving to Dragonkeep. The roads aren't safe. Taking the U-Bahn would be faster anyway. Thanks for the tip, Aegir. The U-Bahn it is. Aegir nods, then turns to check her equipment. The rest of the group disperses in turn. You now command a team of Shadowrunners. When traveling to new mission locations, you will be able to choose which members of your team to bring and modify their loadout for the run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on a mission, they'll be automatically extracted for emergency medical care. They will be patched up and ready for action the next time you return to your safe house. Avoid this loss of firepower by always carrying some Bumona trauma kits into the field. These can be purchased at the Street Dogs office in the Kreuzbazar. Confirm. Так, что мне тут еще предлагают? Мне еще предлагают компьютер посмотреть, да? Ничего этого взять не могу, да? Окей, confirm. Смотрим компьютер. Your workstation and mission computer, the command center of your team's operations and your last link to the memory of Monica Scheffer. Her thoughts and words live on in this machine. At times it's easy to forget that she's gone. The cool blue tones of her workstation's main menu fill the screen. The blinking message in the upper right corner notifies that you have 0 unread messages. Open the jobs directory. Jobs main. View all pending and active jobs. Nothing. Okay. Access the Shadowland BBS. What's that? Shadowland connection established successfully. Link strength 100%. Spoofing 1. Group info null anon. Post pay data for sale. Attach data to escrow account. Data will be automatically sold to the highest bidder. Both parties will remain anonymous throughout transaction. Post the antiquary's delivery schedule. Posting will remain active for 2 days. Okay. Удачненько я загнал расписание антикварочки. Удачненько. Так. Personal files. Amsel, Paul, Dietrich, Glory, Ager, Cliston. Monica entry. The image of Monica appears on the screen. Paul, a talented and well-connected fixer with contacts all over Berlin. She pauses for a moment. He is more to me than that, of course, but that's neither here nor there. The image winks back off the screen. You find yourself back in the menu. Dietrich? Dietrich, one of my dearest friends and a shaman of tremendous power. A good man to have in your side in fights. I tend to use Dietrich in a support role. His magic can dramatically bolster the combat effectiveness of a frontline fighter like Ager or Glory. But when the chips are down, he is more than capable of dishing out punishment on his own. Can't think of much else to say about Dietrich, just a good, reliable guy. He is getting a little long in the tooth for a Shadowrunner. I'm not sure how many more years he has ahead of him in his game, but I'll be happy to run with him for as long as he's able. We'll see, I suppose. Glory. Glory, our damaged enigma. I've known her for almost 5 years now, but I don't think that I'll ever really know her. Somehow, I doubt that anyone will. On an operational level, Glory's solid. That chrome of hers may be old, but it gets the job done. I've seen her take a troll apart with her hand razors, and when her adrenal pump is running, she moves faster than anyone I've ever seen. On top of all of that, Glory's competent field magic. I don't know where she learned medicine, yet another question mark, but she's patched me up at least a dozen times. Between her skill with the medic and Dietrich magic, we haven't had much trouble with serious injuries, and in our line of work, that's a luxury. That's really all that I know about Glory. She keeps to herself, barely talks, and spends most of her off time staring at nothing. I've seen this kind of behavior before, of course. Something bad happened in her past. Deep down, I think she is still running from it, and I'm sure that her cyberware ties into it somehow. I don't know. Maybe someday she'll open up to me. I'd like to think that she will. We'll see, I suppose. Okay. Ager. What to say about Ager? She's smart, she's strong, and she's one hell of a soldier. In a close-up fight, I've seen her take apart an entire security team with her shotgun, and she's even more dangerous at range. It's a handy thing having a trained sniper on the team. All in all, we enjoy on one hell of an advantage thanks to her. Unfortunately, there are some disadvantages too. All of that military training has left her, how to say it, rigid, I suppose. Unlike the others, Ager isn't content to go with the flow. She wants lists and maps and timetables. She wants a hierarchy, and she wants it formalized. I don't think that she realizes it, but giving her what she wants would destroy this team. Glory and Dietrich wouldn't put up with it for more than a day or two. I know that I wouldn't, but she keeps on pushing all the same. One of these days this situation is going to come to a head. I just hope that it doesn't happen soon. And what would you say about me? Kristen, my secret weapon. I've run enough with Kristen to know that he is trustworthy. Good in the fight too, but beyond all of that, it's a good just to see him again. There aren't many people left from the old days. Far too few, and Kristen, well, he was always the best of them. Gods, that was Seppi. Mental note, re-record this before Kristen gets a chance to see it. At any rate, if anything happens to me, it's good to know that he'll be on hand to fill my shoes. It's not that Ager would want, but it is what would be best for the team. Окей, значит, я у нас тут типа лучший из худших, так сказать. Лучшее дополнение команды. Так, ну что получается? Надо выдвигаться и искать чувачка, который Монике сливал инфу. В общем, Моника погибла. Меня сделали лидером. Все, кроме Эйгер, в принципе, не против такому ходу событий. Даже Пёсель. Единственное, что я не понял, где бы можно было, например, закупиться. А тут, видимо, ничего и не будет. Так, taken care of, окей. Ладно. Буду, наверное, на сегодня заканчивать. Язык заплетается, глаза потихоньку текут. Но в целом, чё? В целом, начало интересное. Неизвестных слов просто дохренище. Общий смысл я, конечно же, понимаю. Нас жестко подставили, теперь ищем эту крысу. А там будет видно. Вот. Ну и в целом, что можно сказать? Спасибо всем, кто это мероприятие смотрел. Спасибо за активность в чатике. И, как говорится, до новых встреч. До новых встреч. Пока можно сохранить игру. И, как говорится, goodbye.